Hi, Nye County. This is Chuck Augustin. Tom Gibson was overthrown today in a bloodless coup. I have removed him from the leadership of the Nye County show on the first Thursday or the third Tuesday of every month. Actually, he just didn't show up. So the lines are going to be open all night. I urge you to call in, give your opinions on whatever we want to talk about. We'll be a true democracy tonight on this show. I'll start off with the most obvious thing, the election. And for people that know me, I am not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm this thing called an anarchist, which means I think we could solve all these issues way better without this thing called government. It wouldn't be that hard, I feel, if we were put in that position. However, I don't think I'll see my philosophy come through in my lifetime, certainly, or any other. But here we are with a surprise election result. Donald Trump, I certainly was surprised. I thought very much that with the media, with the power of the New World Order, the global economy, and all these forces behind her, that certainly Hillary would win. However, surprise, surprise. I was going to say, we have caller Chuck. We have Ray. How you doing, Ray?
Ray the Flagman here, Chuck. It's good to see you on. He's got a nice close-up shot of you. I mean, you know, you're not way in the background like usually, you know.
Is my beauty coming through?
Yeah, it's coming through perfectly. And so you overthrown the Gibson man, huh?
Yep, it was a bloodless one.
Yeah, well, were you doing 60 miles an hour when you pushed him out or what? Yeah, I'm glad you're discussing the election, and I hope you touch on, and I know you will, you know, some of the details on this decriminalization of marijuana hidden in, I don't know how they hide this stuff. They tell you you can possess, use, and grow, and then at the same time, they've got some kind of rider saying, oh, but not if you're within 25 miles of a dispensary. All this is about is money. They got to leave the people alone, for Pete's sake. They keep hammering on us, and they've been tossing people in the slammer forever for this stuff, and now that it's decriminalized, they come up with that kind of stuff. I saw a case in court yesterday I had mentioned to you on the phone, but I want to tell the people. Some guy actually pleaded guilty to possession of marijuana yesterday in Lane's court. Lane from the bench kind of jokingly says, but it's legal now. But yet the guy pled guilty. If he went to a jury trial, they would find him not guilty just because it's legal. But he pled guilty, maybe with some kind of plea bargain or whatever. But I really thought it was absurd. Here, you decriminalize it, the people have spoken, and the guy pleads guilty to it. And, you know, I don't think he'll go to prison, but whatever, you know. So what's your view on this, Mr. Augustine?
Well, as you well know, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world, but it's all for money and power and control, in my opinion. There's more people in jail for smoking marijuana than there are for violent crimes. Something's radically wrong there. And I've got a bunch of notes that I'll be reading off regarding the legalization of marijuana and what's going to happen in between now and when it actually starts being decriminalized.
You're talking about details on what we just voted for, right?
Yeah, right. Question 2, and I ran across the website that had 16 pages.
Well, how is it when they specifically mention this is what you're voting for, and then they can come later and say, oh, but we can twist it around any way we want? I mean, it's really absurd. You think you're voting for something, and say vote for this or that, and then you vote, and you say, well, that's not what we meant. I mean, I just don't know why they do it this way. It's completely absurd.
Well, they want to mold our decision into their benefit. And that's what it boils down to. They give a short question on what we vote for, and then regardless of whatever we decide, they're free to manipulate it so that it ends up being to their advantage, both in terms of money and power, I think.
So you think maybe that 15% excise tax has got something to do with this?
Yeah.
No?
And the many more, yeah. After I'm done with the elections, we'll get into the details somewhat. It's incredible, all the stuff involved and all the taxes, and all the things that are going to be really not decided until the lowest level, the county, gets around of getting their fee out of it.
Right.
And God knows what it's going to cost for the poor people that are going to use it. I mean, it's going to be astronomical, I'm sure.
But one thing I want to suggest on your show tonight, if somebody calls in and they're done talking, tell them to hang up so somebody else can call in. Because last month, somebody stayed on the line for like 15, 20 minutes listening to you guys on the phone when he could have hung up and listened on TV, and nobody could call in. The line was busy. The line was busy.
That's a good point, and since you said it, I won't have to. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, he might have to repeat it. If somebody's still on the line, say, hey, buddy, you had your nickel's worth. All right, I may be calling in later if nobody else calls, but I think you're going to get a lot of calls.
Okay, thank you, Flagman. Okay, we're going to go back into Trump, and then I'll get around to the marijuana issue in question 2. Here's my take on the election. I don't know if it's for real or not. To me, it's irrelevant what I feel or what we believe or what the media says, because I think most people that voted for Trump realize the media is not reliable. Certainly mainstream media and the alternative media, how do you know who's telling the truth and not? I think more often than not, you can tell by the title of the articles that it's a lot of BS, because there's no way people could know what they're writing about. You know, Russia's manning their nuclear weapons and this, we're going to DEFCON 3 and on and on. Well, you know, there's no way people are going to know that information. So anyway, I think we got to stand back and wait and see what's happening. I'll give my 2 cents real quick on what I feel if Trump is really for real and really wants to clean up this country, what must happen. And I'll start off with the whole corrupt system must be dismantled, and a massive number of criminals in government must be prosecuted. I don't see any way around it. You've got to get the criminals out of power and return to a system where people are serving the people of this country, not serving themselves, not serving their masters in some elitist organization. The second thing that must happen is sovereignty must be restored to all countries, including ours. In other words, this globalization and New World Order must be absolutely thrown away and defeated. And that means we return our troops back to where they belong, the United States of America. You want to honor your troops, in my opinion, let's get them back home. We have no business supporting this empire that is not benefiting the people of this country. That's my opinion. The third thing is we, the people, must begin cleaning up from the local level and go up and meet Trump in the middle. In other words, if he's going to take on this monster, he's going to be doing things from the top. As it comes down, we've got to be working as we're freed. Right now, we don't have a chance. Every federal organization, every military organization is ready to squash us. And I'm not talking about a revolution. I'm talking about a real democracy where we say, no, you're not going to pull this. And we put them on the spot. If that means they end up being prosecuted, so be it. Whether it be a police officer, whether it be a prosecutor, whether it be a county commissioner, or whatever. We cannot tolerate what's gone on for way too long. And the final thing is people can no longer fear its government. And that's what we have right now. If you have any awareness of what is happening all around us, you should fear your government. You should fear speaking out like some of us do. Because they not only retaliate, they throw us in jail, and at some levels, they bury us. And that is our own country, ladies and gentlemen. So that's my opinion on if Trump is for real, the things that are going to happen. We're going to go to break pretty quick, so I'm not going to go off in my next tangent. Please give us a call when you can, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.